Good evening, students. Today we are going to discuss the topic on problems on ideals. So first we see a problem. If f is a field, prove that its only ideals are 0 and f itself. So we are given that whenever f is a field, now we have to only prove that it has two ideals, either an ideal consisting of 0 element and the full ideal f itself. Or we have to show that in another way. They have asked that prove that a field has no proper ideals. So it consists of only trivial ideals that we have to prove it now. So let U be a non-zero ideal of f. That means U consists of an element which is a non-zero element in f. Now let us take an element A which is non-zero element in U, and we have given that f is a field. Therefore every non-zero element in f must have an inverse element. So here U is a subset of f. Therefore every element of U will be in f. If you take a non-zero element A not equal to 0 belong to U, then automatically that will also be in f, and A also belongs to f. And since f is a field, every non-zero element has a multiplicative inverse. So for the element A which also has a non-zero element, inverse element, so namely A inverse. So therefore whenever A belongs to f, A inverse also belongs to f. Now given that U is an ideal, so by definition of an ideal, if you take any element A belong to U and A inverse belongs to f, therefore A into A inverse must be belongs to U. So therefore we have, by applying the definition of ideal, so A into A inverse belongs to U, but A into A inverse is equal to 1 belong to U. So now we have identified an element 1 in the ideal capital U. Next let take x be an any element of f. So now 1 belongs to U and x belongs to f. Therefore 1 into x belongs to U by definition of ideal. 1 into x is nothing but x belongs to U. So now if we take an element x belongs to f, that element of the x belongs to U. So therefore every element of f is in every element of U. Therefore f is a subset of U. We have find out. And already U is a subset of f because f is a field and U is a ideal of f. Therefore U must be a subset of f. Now we have shown that f is a subset of U and U is a subset of f. Therefore U equal to f. That is the idea we have to prove that. It has only ideals U equal to 0 and U equal to f. U equal to f we have shown. Next we see another problem. If U is an ideal of a ring R, so here U is an ideal of a ring R and 1 belong to U, then you have to show that U equal to R. The ideal U must be equal to R. Now since U is an ideal of a ring R, U is always a subset of R. The inequality is a trivial result. U is contained in R must be true. Now next you take an element x belongs to R. X belongs to R, then automatically since U is an ideal of R, if you take and we are given that 1 belong to U, that we are given. So therefore for any element 1 belong to U and x belongs to A, by definition of ideal 1 into x must be belong to U. 1 into x is nothing but x belongs to U. Now we have shown that when x belongs to R, this simply x belongs to U. Therefore R is a subset of U. So from the relations 1 and 2, U is a subset of R and R is a subset of U. We have proved that U equal to R. Next, prove that any homomorphism of a field is either an isomorphism or takes each element to 0. Here we have to show that suppose any homomorphism of a field is either isomorphism mapping or the mapping homomorphism takes each element of f to 0. That idea we have to show it now. First, let pi be a homomorphism. Define a homomorphism from field f to a ring R. Here f is a domain set and R is a codomain set. And define k be the kernel of a homomorphism. So we know that the kernel is nothing but the set of elements of the form x belongs to f such that pi of x equal to 0, where 0 is an identity element of R. 0 element of R. So here this is the definition of kernel. Here domain set is f and codomain set is R. And pi is a mapping we define. The kernel consisting of only the set of elements of f. Of those elements, when pi is applied on those elements, it mapped to 0. That is pi of x is equal to 0. This is an ideal of f we have defined. Now, from the theorem 1, when the first problem 1, we have seen that a field has no proper ideals. So here k is a here f is a field and it has ideal k. So therefore its only ideals are k equal to 0 and k equal to f. Either one is possible. That means kernel consisting only of 0 element or kernel is equivalent to full f. Now when k consisting of only 0 element, k has only 0 element, we assume first case. And we have given that pi is a homomorphism. So therefore pi of a equal to pi of b imply for any two elements a comma b belongs to f, whenever the domain elements are equal, we have to show that codomain elements are equal. Whenever the codomain elements are equal, we have to show that the domain elements must be equal. Here the domain elements are a and b belongs to f are the domain elements, and pi of a and pi of b are the codomain elements. Whenever the codomain elements, namely pi of a and pi of b are equal, that is pi of a equal to pi of b, in that case we take pi of b to the left hand side, pi of a minus pi of b equal to 0, pi of a minus b equal to 0. That is, whenever the mapping pi is applied on the element a minus b, it mapped to 0. So therefore this a minus b must be belong to k. Now it satisfies the condition. Instead of x, we have shown that pi of a minus b is equal to 0. Automatically a minus b belongs to k. Since a minus b belongs to k and k consisting of only one element 0, therefore a minus b must be equivalent to 0. So from this we can show that a equal to b. So whenever codomain elements pi of a equal to pi of b, we have shown that the domain elements a equal to b. Therefore pi is 1 to 1. So therefore if a kernel consisting of only 0 element, we have shown that pi is an isomorphism, because a mapping which is 1 to 1 and on to is called isomorphism. Here 1 to 1 property is verified. Therefore pi is isomorphism. So next case we assume that k equal to f. If k equal to f means, now pi of x is equal to 0 imply for each element for every x belongs to k. We know that since k is an kernel, so if you take all the elements of x, all the elements of k are mapped to 0 element of r. So therefore every element of k, namely x, for every element of k will be mapped to 0. So here k is equal to f. Therefore every element of k is mapped to the element of f. So all the elements of since k equal to f, every element of k can be considered as an every element of f. So therefore every element is mapped to 0. 0 element of f. Next lemma we are going to show that let R be a commutative ring with unit element, and it only ideals are 0 and R are its ideals. So therefore we are given three ideas. R is a commutative ring with a unit element given, and its only ideals are singletons 0 and R. Then we have to show that R is a field. So to show that R is a field, we have to prove that every element, every non-zero element of R will have a multiplicative inverse. If you take any element A not equal to 0, element A non-zero element A belong to R, and there exists another element B not equal to 0 or belong to R, such that A into B equal to 1. That idea we have to prove it now. So let us take the assumption, let R be a commutative ring with unit element that we are given, and whose only ideals are 0 and the singletons at 0 and R itself. We take assume that. Now we have to prove that R is a field. So now here you take any element A not equal to 0 belong to R, there exists another element B not equal to 0 belong to R, such that AB equal to 1. That is the result. We are going to prove it now. You take an element A, non-zero element A belong to R, and form the set RA is equal to the set of elements of the form small r into small a, where small r belong to capital R and A also belongs to capital R. Now first we will prove that this set of capital RA is ideal. So ideal means it must be an, we have to, from the definition of ideal, RA must be a subgroup of R, and if you take any element small u belong to RA and small r belong to capital R, then U into R, R into U must be belong to the set capital RA. So two ideas we are going to prove it now. First we how to show that RA is a subgroup of R. So you take two elements U and V belong to capital RA. So therefore since U belong to RA, every element in RA must be of the form small r into A. அந்த ஃபார்மேட்டில் இருக்கணும்னு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. Therefore if U belong to RA, U must be in the form of R1A, where R1 belong to capital R. And V also belongs to capital RA, imply V belongs to R2A format. V equal to R2A, where R1 and R2 belongs to the ring R. Now you add U plus V. U plus V is nothing but R1A plus R2A. You take R1, you take A common outside. So R1 plus R2 into A. So this is again in the form of element in capital RA. Because R is a field, if you take any two elements R1 and R2 belong to R1 and R2 belong to capital R, R1 plus R2 also must be belong to capital R. So therefore we have identified U plus the element U plus V also belongs to capital RA. And also for any element U belong to capital RA, minus U also belongs to capital RA. That is minus U is equal to minus R1 into A. This is minus R1 into A. This is belongs to capital RA. So therefore we have shown that the set RA is closed and also it has an additive inverse. Therefore the set capital RA is an additive subgroup of capital R. The first part we have proved it now. Next we prove the second part. You take small r belong to capital R. and then RU, we are going to find the value of RU. RU is nothing but R into U is R1A format, R into R1A. So R into R1A is also an element of capital R. So therefore the element in the small ru belong to capital RA. So since RA satisfies the above two conditions, we have shown that RA is an ideal of R. Now already we are given that in the problem its only ideals are 0 and capital R. So the commutative ring R must have only two ideals, an ideal consisting of 0 element and capital R. So now we have find out an ideal capital RA. So therefore that capital RA must be equivalent to either 0 ideal or capital R ideal. That we have to prove it now. So but the only ideals of R are we are given that 0 and capital R nu kuduthirukanga. So therefore RA must be equivalent to R or RA equal to 0. Suppose you take an element A, non-zero element belong to capital RA. That element A can be written in the form 1 into A. In the format, an element A can be written in the form 1 into A. That 1 into A belong to RA because 1 is an element belong to capital R. Because R is an given that R is an commutative ring with unit element. So therefore 1 belong to capital R. So therefore 1 into A belong to capital RA. So therefore RA consists of one element which is non-zero. That is A is an element which is non-zero. So therefore RA cannot be equal to 0 element. Because here we have assumed that RA consists of only a set consisting of 0 element alone. But here we have identified a non-zero element in capital R. So therefore RA cannot be equal to a singleton set 0. Only the other possible chances will hold. RA equal to capital R. Now the equation states that if every element in R is a multiple of capital A. So by there exists an element for every element 1 belong to R and 1 can be written as a multiple of A. So now we have shown that for any element A not equal to 0 in R, there exists an element of the B belong to R such that B into A equal to 1. So now every non-zero element in R has a multiplicative inverse, therefore R is a field. This result we have shown it now. Next we are going to find a new definition, maximal ideal. So an ideal M is a subset of R which is not equal to R. In a ring capital R is said to be a maximal ideal of R if and only if whenever U is another ideal of R such that either M is a subset of U contained in R, then either U equal to M or U equal to R. அதாவது இங்கே மெயின் ஐடியா என்னென்னா an ideal M is said to be a maximal ideal of R if and only if so actually R is a superfield. Inside that R you take an ideal M. So between M and R you can identify another ideal on the capital U. So therefore இப்போ between M and R அது ரெண்டு கடையில் வந்து Uங்கிற ஐடியல் ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் பண்ணிங்கன்னா whether that U வந்து must coincide with M or U must be coincide with R அப்படி இருந்தனா then we say that M is a maximal ideal of R.